Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about something very particular when it comes to the Microsoft Surface Duo. I'm not here to say it sucks. I'm not here to say it was a failure. I'm not here to say that Microsoft screwed up big time. I'm not here to say I told you so. I think that's all been said enough. But here I am holding the Microsoft Surface Duo, so you can probably look at that and go like, well dude, why do you have one? But anyway, that's a whole other story, a whole other day. What I do want to talk about is what I think is one of the biggest failures when it comes to this phone. See, the hardware is one story, but the second part of the story is the software. And when you look at the Surface Duo, this isn't a small company. This is Microsoft, like the father of operating systems. They're the ones that brought us DOS. They brought us Windows 3.1, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows Millennium Edition. That was terrible. Like if you actually had that, I'm sorry. I did. I still have trauma. I'm not finished my therapy sessions on that yet. But they are like the father of operating systems. They are like the biggest software company in the world, maybe, I think. Don't fact check that. I could be wrong. But when it comes to this phone, yes, there are hardware issues with it. But the biggest thing, the biggest strength that Microsoft has is software. How come they haven't been able to get it right? And why don't we have Android 11 yet? There are a lot of phones out there that have Android 11. There are $200-300 phones that are coming out with Android 11. Most phones are getting ready for Android 12 because it's just on the horizon. I already have the 12 beta on the Pixel. So where is it at? Why isn't it here? And that's what I want to talk about in this video. But before we get into all that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's talk about the missing OS update. So keeping in line with the numbers, Microsoft actually has come out with Microsoft Windows 11. Like people have been downloading it all over the place. I'm not sure if it's actually publicly available. I haven't gotten it yet, but people are getting it all over the place. So we've got Windows 11. It's been 11 months since the Microsoft Surface Duo has come out. Where is Android 11? You would think that that would be a top priority. Like the phone is already tanked. Like it's already on the way out the door. RIP Microsoft Surface Duo. It was basically dead on arrival. By the time it had come out, it should have been ready. Like it should have been a very polished and finished device because they announced it and then they showed it off and then said, okay, it's coming next winter or whatever. They bumped it up a few months to try and compete, I guess. And then they made it with outdated hardware. Snapdragon 855 when everybody was going the 865 route, 865 plus route. In fact, by the time the 855 was put into this, 6 gigs of RAM, no 5G. There are a lot of limitations on this from a hardware perspective when you look at other flagship phones. So yes, it was already dated from a hardware perspective, but everybody thought that's okay. Microsoft is the king of software. They can do really great things with the operating system on here. They can do wonderful things for multitasking and make this just an amazing device for everybody. That turned out also not to be true, and it was plagued with bugs. It was so bad. I remember whenever they were doing the unboxing videos and all the big YouTubers got these advanced copies of the phone and they could not show off the screen. They couldn't show off the phone while it was turned on the video. And we figured out, of course, later that that's because it was so buggy and had so many problems. If people were to actually show that off, it would have killed it. It would have killed any momentum it had, already coming out later than other phones with dated hardware and then the other issues. So being an expensive phone, well over $1,000 phone, $1,400, about $1,500 after tax. So very expensive, very unique and novel piece of hardware. Like what we thought was going to be its saving grace, which would have been the software, ended up not being that great. And it was plagued with bugs. And then it took them a long time to actually address the bugs. Even now, today, using this, I still have bugs routinely. It'll freeze up. One side of the screen will go black. It won't come back on. It won't unlock when I use the fingerprint sensor and shows the unlock icon, but then you can't actually get in the phone. It's one of those things where there are a lot of issues that still plague this phone. It's by and by largely gotten better, but software you would think would be their biggest strength, and it seems to be the biggest weakness with their phone. So looking around, Samsung has Android 11, OnePlus has Android 11, Apple doesn't have Android 11 because it's running iOS. But you look at, even the Unihertz Titan Pocket, which is a small Kickstarter company. It's a Kickstarted phone that's coming out in September. It's already got Android 11. and the Microsoft Surface Duo nowhere in sight. Now, I heard and I've read some articles, it seems like it might be coming in August or September, but that I think is a little too late. I think it's a little unacceptable, and it makes me worry about the future of this device or the next device, because if they're so slow to update the software, what are they actually doing in their software department at Microsoft that they can't pull this off? They committed a ton of resources and money and manpower to bring this phone to market, to just not support it. And I almost feel like they gave up on it before the phone even came out. I think they might have scrapped it internally, just pushed it out there so people would buy it so they could sell the ones they had and start focusing on the Surface Duo 2. Which, I think the Surface Duo 2, when it gets here, is probably going to be good, but then there's a credibility issue. There's an expectations issue. If they didn't take care of this one, and they didn't update the software, they haven't updated the software, they've been terrible with updates, they've just been minor fixes and minor updates here and there. It's not even a Cinderella story, it's like the Titanic. Like, not only because it crashed and wrecked, but because of the meme you see on the internet that says 84 years later. Maybe 84 years later we'll actually get Android 11 for this. I think that there's still merit and value to this phone if they can actually start supporting it. And I think that at this point we're probably not going to see that. I think the writing is on the wall at this point, and you can even find these things. I made a video about them going on fire sale, and they're like even more fire sale. It's like they threw some fuel on the fire. I saw these on Woot the other day for like $410. $410 for a Surface Duo that a year ago was like $1,500 after tax. That's just mind-blowing that it could drop that fast and go on fire sale that quickly. So that tells me that Microsoft really doesn't have a whole lot of plans for this phone. Carriers are trying to dump it and get rid of it. I mean, half the models I've seen at Best Buy don't even turn on anymore. They're just kind of sitting there. So, I don't know. I still think it has merit. I think it has value. I very much enjoy using it. I really enjoy using it with my Surface Pen Slim. It makes it for a more enjoyable device and experience, I think. But overall, yeah, there are a lot of question marks, a lot of concerns. If you got one for $410 locked to AT&T the other day off Woot, that is a great pickup. I mean, it really is. I could recommend this phone all day long at $400 and $500 if you were interested in it. Not at the price point that it originally was. Too many question marks out there, too much money. And if Microsoft can't commit to their own product, why should you commit to it? And then that raises another question. Should we commit to the Surface Duo 2 if it even sees the light of day? I hope that it does. I hope that they learned a lot of lessons. I hope they made a lot of improvements to the device so that way when the Surface Duo comes out, the Surface Duo 2, I think it can be really good. I think people are primed for this. I think people like the design. I think from a multitasking perspective, it's really fun and enjoyable to use when it works properly. Having the ability to have two independently running apps on both screens. You can have the combinations to load the apps. Click the icon, it loads two instantly at the same time. There's a lot of merit and value to this. I think that there could be some hope for it if they can actually start supporting it. But I think the writing is pretty much on the wall at this point. I think they pretty much got ready to move on. We'll see if we get the Surface Duo 2. We'll see when that actually comes out. But it really is a shame that the king of software, the author of like operating systems for the world, Microsoft Windows, cannot even put Android 11 on their 11-month-old Surface Duo device. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Hopefully it gets here in August or September timeframe, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Hopefully it happens, and hopefully it works. Like, hopefully it's not as plagued as the first iteration with Android 10. So a lot of wait and see, a lot of look at what's on the horizon, and, you know, people speak with their money. There's a lot of new phones coming out. We've got the Pixel phones that are going to come out. We're going to have the new iPhones. We're going to have the new Samsung phones. There's a lot of stuff out there that make a really compelling argument to go pick up these nice, polished, and refined products instead of sitting around and waiting for these guys with the Surface lineup on their phones. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.